All right, man, we in here. Urban Artificial Intelligence Strategic Thinking Media Platform. All right, we finna talk about Rick Ross and 50. I don't know if y'all have noticed this. I've noticed this. And I like 50 Cent. You know, he makes good music. Rick Ross is one of my favorite rappers. A lot of things of late that Rick Ross does and says I don't really agree with. Um, he was a police officer. You know, I don't agree with being a police officer then rapping about being a drug dealer. But regardless of that, he makes great music. He's made good music for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Rick Ross is somebody who um I've listened to for a long time. So when he's been one of my favorite rappers for a long time. So when him and 50 was kind of going back and forth, that was something that I watched closely. I listened to all the disses. Um Rick Ross is jumping out the window freestyle, which is a 50 Cent diss, is one of the most underrated disses of all time. That's one of my favorite disses to listen to. I still listen to that. Um, I still listen to that diss till this day. It came out years ago. I don't even want to say the year, probably like 2008 or 2009, somewhere around there. He shot the video in New York. I wish I could play the video, even though that has nothing to do with what we're going to talk about. It was just a pivotal moment in their battle. When Rick Ross dropped jumping out the window, that's when I thought he won. Now, you know, other people have their opinion. But I feel like Rick Ross won that battle. With that jumping out the window freestyle, that shit was crazy. But anyway, I've been watching their feud or whatever the case may be for a long time, and their beef has evolved, y'all. If y'all remember from the beginning of their beef, and this is not a documentary of me documenting their beef, because this was so long ago. This was a long time ago. Um, this was damn near 15 years ago, 16 years ago. But when the beef first started, it was like they were kind of making fun of each other. 50 Cent did the whole curly thing where he dressed up as somebody. And my personal opinion, I felt like he did that because he couldn't. Rick Ross's music at that point was too much for 50 to handle. And he did the strategic thing. He just focused all of his energy on Rick Ross being a police, which that was a good move. I mean, that's something that was funny. It was entertaining because music-wise, 50 just couldn't keep up. 50 wasn't the quality level of Rick Ross music was too much for 50, and I think he knew that. That's why he kind of created a character and start making content, basically just making fun of Rick Ross's weight and the fact that he was a police. Which again, when you lie about being a police, when people find out the truth, you know it's gonna be an easy wound to poke at. But that's how the beef started. And most of y'all know this. If you in my age range, if you in your mid to late 30s like myself, you already know all this. But I'm just touching on this to highlight the fact of how this beef has changed. All right. Recently, 50 Cent did an interview on $1 Million Worth of Game. And what I got from this interview, now I haven't watched the whole interview, but from what I've seen of this interview, what I got is both of them are basically, they're not really taking personal jabs at each other anymore. What they doing is they're discrediting each other's business mindset. They're basically trying to see who's the better businessman. Now, I think this is good. I think this is good for a couple of reasons. A lot of the things that 50 Cent was saying, trying to discredit Rick Ross, they were actually learning moments. You know what I'm saying? It was actual game in what he was saying. And we're going to get into what he said. And with Rick Ross, when he responded, what Rick Ross said he was gonna do, he spoke about an event. And even now, whether this, and we're gonna get into the post and talk about the event, but whether or not he actually does this event, what he's doing is he's creating an image, and he's trying to speak it into existence. All right. And I think that he's doing that to try to go bigger than 50. Okay. When they first started beefing, it was clear that 50's music was on the downcline, Rick Ross' music was on the incline. That was clear. We knew that, we could see that. But 50 Cent has stayed in the news, and he stayed relevant due to his business moves and his business decisions. All right. And that's something that Rick Ross, too, he takes pride in that. He takes pride in being a good businessman. So I think these two are basically gonna battle it out on the business front now. This is a rivalry that is that has elevated. It has matured. You see what I'm saying? They're not even really dissing each other the same. They're not even dissing each other the same. The insults aren't the same as they were. You know what I'm saying? They're not dissing each other the same. And I feel like they're gonna push each other to newer heights. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that they doing this for each other specifically. You know, 50 has been a good businessman for years. Rick Ross has been a good businessman for years. But this competition, I think this competition, everybody in the hip hop world, in the hip hop ecosystem can learn from this, because business in hip hop is getting bigger and bigger. More people are entrepreneurs. More people want to work for themselves. More people are choosing business over just beefing and gossip. Being a businessman in hip hop is still cool. I know a lot of people said that kind of died out after the pandemic, and that was only like a fad, and stocks and LLCs and small businesses was just a fad. I don't agree with that. Now, I think it was a lot of people who came to the realization that entrepreneurship wasn't for them after the pandemic. But hip hop is still a breeding ground for entrepreneurial minds. That hasn't changed. And I got some content about that coming up in the next couple of days. I'm gonna talk about InvestFest and the future of that whole movement, because I don't think it's dead. A lot of people feel like that's dead. The whole entrepreneur thing is dead. I don't think so. Maybe it's because I've wanted to be an entrepreneur way before this, years before. But I don't even think that's the case. I think that it's hip hop is the perfect place for entrepreneurship. It's a lot of avenues in hip hop that can create entrepreneurs. Everybody just wanted to rap at one point. That's all it was. Everybody just wanted one lane to be a rapper. You'll have a crew of 10 niggas, 7 of them rappers. And I don't think necessarily everybody wanted to be a rapper. We, and myself included, we seen rap as a way to be an entrepreneur. Most Black people don't know super successful entrepreneurs. We might know people who own their own business here or there, and they're making a modest living from it. But we don't know many entrepreneur millionaires, or even people who make 6 figures a year. Now, yes, it's more of that. And you can access people more easily through social media. I can say now, for, and like I say, I'm in my late 30s. I have somebody's number in my phone who's a millionaire, who I text. I text them today. I've never had that before, ever. I've never knew anybody who was a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Now, that don't mean they're going to make me a millionaire, but just being able to talk to somebody who I know for a fact has $1 million in the bank. Now, he would never say this to me because that's not the type of person he is, but I know he does. But the point that I'm making is, growing up, I wasn't around people like that. But times are different. Times are different. Being an entrepreneur is not as hard as it once was. All right, so the point that I'm making is hip hop is evolving as well. So let's get into what 50 Cent said on $1 million worth of game. I didn't mean to go on a tangent there, but
Ross take a shot at you a couple weeks ago about a girl that you're not even with no more.
That's right.
And then, what is it with you and Ross that's just been going on for so long?
I spent it to you, right? Nothing else works for him outside of mentioning me. When things get bad, you mention me. It gets covered further. You'll see TMZ and say, 50 Cent said this is going to be bad for Irv Gotti's career. I get covered across the board.
Yeah.
They get covered on the hip hop blogs. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And you watch because I have nothing else to say. You'll just see it happen periodically as it goes.
Yeah.
You know, you see that big white elephant, that property he lives at? It costs more than the nightclubs. He's in the night. We know what they can give you.
Ross take a shot at you a couple weeks ago about a girl that you're not even with no more.
That's right. They can't pay you more than they can pay you because the room. They can't pay you more than they can pay you because the room can't hold enough people for them to give you the money to get it chatted and move. But that's what it is. It's just a part of presentation.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. You can see this. You don't need me to say this. You know this.
Yeah.
Look at it. What kind of rich nigga cut his own grass? Why you out there cutting your own grass? You trying to save money, nigga? You don't want to pay for the lawn to get cut, huh?
Let me ask you
The
this.
AC broken in the motherfucker.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
They can't pay you more than
now,
they can pay you because the room
can
can't
see
hold.
how a lot of people like to say, okay, 50 is petty. This is just petty stuff. This is not petty stuff. Well, whether it's petty or not to them, what I think this is gonna drive people to become entrepreneurs, and it's this. There, he's kind of giving game a little bit, even if some people can't do what he's doing.
Enough people for them to give you the money to stay there.
Some people are just looking at it as insults, and if you wanna say that, I guess that's cool. I mean, if that's what he's doing, he's trying to insult him, he's trying to embarrass him. But I would rather listen to people beefing like this rather than how they was beefing in the past and how rappers used to beef in the past. I feel like what they're doing is more, it's almost like teaching. Do y'all get what I'm saying? It's almost like teaching. But even if Rick Ross is doing something that 50 Cent don't agree with, even if Rick Ross is doing something that 50 Cent don't agree with, by 50 Cent saying what he would do in that situation, or even calling out the things that Rick Ross is doing wrong from an entrepreneurial standpoint, that's going to help the people watching. That's going to help entrepreneurs in their path. I'd rather hear them saying this and going back and forth about this than talking about fucking each other, bitch. Or I'm going to shoot you when I see you. I'm going to do this to you when I see you. I'm going to do that to this when I see you. You broke. I can't learn anything from that. I don't gain anything from listening to that. Maybe some laughs. Maybe a short-term entertainment, a short-term period of entertainment. That's it. I don't really get anything from that. The things that he just said about the nightclub, when you own a home. Now, I don't know if this is true. I'm not saying it's the truth. I don't think Rick Ross is broke. I think is a millionaire several times over. I don't think he's broke. I don't think he's cutting his grass because he can't afford to get somebody to cut his grass. I think he can afford to get somebody to cut his grass. I think he's cutting his grass because he wants to cut his grass. Either way, whether 50 is just saying that or not, that's a good point. That's a good point. If you live in a big mansion, right, and you're going into clubs, and he's basically saying, don't live above your means. That's what he's saying. That's what that statement is. That is a useful piece of advice. Whether that's the case with Rick Ross or not, I don't know. Like I said, I don't believe it is. I believe Rick Ross can afford everything that he has. But that's giving game a little bit, even if it's in the form of a diss to somebody else. He's still giving game. Now, let's see what Rick Ross replied.
Damn. Oh, he want you to lose like he just bought the Holyfield mansion. Damn. He bought a jet. Damn. Oh no, 4th annual car show. Damn. I just seen a clip of the Wallow show where he was interviewing 50 Cent and the other little dude asked him a question, small talk. But ultimately, the question that should have been asked was, you jumped out there during the beef, the West Coast versus the Canadian. And I thought Dr. Dre put you on. I thought Dr. Dre was the set. I thought you was loyal to Dr. Dre. You mean you went with the Canadian over Dr. Dre? Who you say changed your life? I thought loyalty. But you did shut the fuck up once the Canadian took the L. You got totally quiet. You did. So, since these niggas count my pockets, I'm gonna let them know my next move. My next move finna be Thriller in Manila 3. Mike Tyson versus Evander Holyfield 3. Once Tyson knock out Jake Paul, I'm gonna get Tyson and Holyfield a fight in my front yard. I'm gonna put a ring right there. And it's gonna go down in my front yard. I want the judges to be Snoop Dogg, Kevin Hart, academics. You hear me? The ring gonna be right there at the promised land. Thriller in Manila, the biggest.
All right, now, to me, I don't know if he was just saying that or if this is something that he's actually trying to do. It sounds like a good idea. It sounds good. But to me, in my opinion, this is what entrepreneurs do, and this is setting a good example for other entrepreneurs. Thinking outside of the box and shooting for something that you don't even know if it's going to happen or not. If you see, DJ Academic said, the caption said, Rick Ross responds to 50 Cent, Gilly and Drake catch strays, and Ross says he's throwing Thriller in Manila 3 in his front yard. By the way, Big AK humbly accepts the judge position if this goes down. So that lets you know right there, he ain't spoke to none of these people about this. He hadn't spoke to DJ Academics about this. He probably hasn't spoke to Kevin Hart or Snoop. He probably ain't even spoke to Mike Tyson or Evander Holyfield about it. But he's putting it out there because this is something that he wants to happen. This is something that he wants to happen. Just him making a video about this and putting this into the atmosphere, it makes it seem like it's something that he can make happen. When we clearly see he ain't even spoke to academics about this. He could have just made that up right then and there. But that initial thought that first seed that he planted for it, it could come to fruition. Hey, he might not get Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson. He could get 2 lower level boxers and it still turn out to be a huge success. All right, I hope this beef continues like this. I like the fact that 50 took off with the TV, because that's where, and we're going to talk about something else that 50 said in Invest Fest in a minute. But I like the fact that 50 was successful with TV, because that's kind of his thing to stand on outside of rap. It was the vitamin water early. He got a big check from that, when he first came into the game. Now it's the whole Power series. I'm pretty sure that if Rick Ross makes this happen, if he makes this Thriller in Manila 3 happen, 50 Cent is gonna feel some type of pressure, not pressure. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Not pressure as in it's gonna be something that he wouldn't do anyway, but he's gonna feel like he needs to outdo that move. Cause that's how they feel, because that's how they felt in the booth, right? It's translating. It's translating to financial and entrepreneurial lessons for us. Now, I'm excited to see if this Thriller Manila 3 is gonna happen. And if it don't, what will happen? What will he do? Because he just, like I said, he just put it into the universe. He gonna do something. He's gonna do something. Who the fuck is this? He's gonna do something of the sort. Again, Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield, I don't know if they're gonna be down to do that. That's gonna cost a lot of money. I don't even know if they want to fight each other. But for him to put that in the universe and for him to initiate that and make that a goal of his, that's how an entrepreneur is supposed to think. And I think that that's setting a good example. Now, before I get up out of here, it's 2 things that I want to talk about. I want to talk about 2 things that 50 said. Very important in Invest Fest. All right. And this don't got nothing to do with Rick Ross. But this is the type of men that they're turning into. Obviously, they've been good businessmen for a long time. But the competitiveness between these two, this is the type of things that we're going to get out of it.
One of the unwritten laws of businesses appear not to need anything. Because everybody will do you a favor when you don't need one. If they can expect a bigger favor in return or a favor from you at some later point, they'll find the ability to just do it. Here, no problem. That's why when they tell me no, I go, the television said they on strike. I said, okay, I'm on tour. Right? That last tour I did, 103 shows. It's the 3rd highest grossing hip hop tour
Ever. Keyword ever.
One of the unwritten laws.
All right. That was important what he said. Not so much about not ever appearing to need anything. If you want to have that attitude, you can. And I understand that. But I'm gonna play this again. Listen to the part that he said about writers and going on tour. That's the most important part of this.
Of businesses appear not to need anything. Because everybody will do you a favor when you don't need one. If they can expect a bigger favor in return or a favor from you at some later point, they'll find the ability to just do it. Here, no problem. That's why when they tell me no, I go, the television said they on strike. I said, okay, I'm on tour.
All right. That right there is the importance of having multiple streams of income. When the television people at Power went on strike, it didn't affect him. He went to do something else. This is why jobs don't like when you have 2 jobs. Have you ever tried to get a job and you told them that you have another job? Some jobs won't hire you. They can't control you. They can't control you. They want to be your only source of income. They feel like if they're not your only source of income, you're in the power position. They don't like that. They want you to depend on them. That's how a lot of industries are in general. They want you to depend on them. They want you to need them. If they go on strike, they want you to be broke. They don't want you to be able to go do something else. They don't want you to say, you know what? I don't like the way you treat me. And my bills are still going to get paid. They don't like that. Jobs don't like that. They want you to need them. That's why as I get older, it becomes more and more evident to me that I have to have multiple streams of income because jobs prey on that. Industries prey on that. Any type of industrial setup, they prey on that. They prey on people only depending on them. And I guarantee you the TV people, the big top tier TV people, when he said, okay, the writers is on strike, I'm going on tour. They ain't like that. They wanted him to be stressed out and be up all night negotiating with the writers, calling, texting the writers, begging them to come back, offering favors for them to come back, using his money, using his energy to negotiate with them to come back. Nah. He said, I'm going to go on tour. When this is over, I'll be back. That's how you got to move in the business world. And this is something that I'm learning and I'm putting it and I'm practicing it. I'm actively doing it. Because when you are a worker, being a worker is tough enough. But when you're a worker and you only have one stream of income, that puts you behind the 8 ball. At any time, your life can change, your situation can change. So have a skill, work a job, whatever, sell stuff, don't do nothing illegal. Do whatever you have to do, but have multiple streams of income. Now, the last thing I'm going to look at, because I'm probably going to go live again, I got to do a crazy stuff going on in the sneaker world. So I'm probably going to hop back on after this. It's This is something else. 2 incredible entrepreneurs, 50 Cent and Dame Dash. Y'all may have seen this clip where 50 was talking about Dame Dash saying $1 million wasn't a lot of money. We got the original video here, what 50 was talking about. Now, I knew what he was talking about because this was actually a pretty popular clip back in the day. This was before the internet. It wasn't before the internet. Let me stop. This was before social media when he said this. But I guarantee you, Dame Dash is going to answer back to this. We're going to play what 50 said first. All right, this is what 50 said first.
How much money did he give you? First deal.
And by he, Wallow means Eminem. When he said, how much money did he give you for that first deal? He's talking about Eminem.
No.
Cash. Add the taxes.
The only person that pointed out I got $1 million.
Cash. Add the taxes. How much money did he give you for that first deal?
I got $1 million.
Cash. Add the taxes.
The only person that pointed out that $1 million was no money was Damon Dash, and he has no money now. I only felt that, because he said, there ain't no money. Like, after you get your watch, chain, and you look out for the homies and you do this, then it's nothing. Right? And I was like, I think I'm from 134th Street. $1 million is a lot of money.
Right.
I think I hit the lotto.
Right.
Are you gonna say it's no money? Like that? And I just never forgot that because of how it felt.
Was that the only offer you got? Was any other labels offer you?
I met with everybody. I met with Clue, Desert Storm, all of them. It's because I wanted them to say they was doing the deal with me.
All right, now, if y'all know, back in the day, early in the Rockefeller days, Jay-Z and 50 Cent was beefing. So when everybody heard that 50 Cent got $1 million deal, and we knew this back in the day when he first signed with Eminem, Damon Dash, who was obviously a co-owner of Rockefeller, he didn't like 50 Cent. He was talking about how little $1 million was. This is the clip that 50 is talking about.
It's tax half. Yeah, that's fine. Realistic look at $1 million is. Realistic look at what $1 million is to the first time rapper. First of all, it's tax half. Yeah, that's 500,000 right then and there. Boom. So now you got 500,000 left. The first thing you got to do is get a nice car. My truckity truck. There's 100,000. Now you got 4 left. You got to get your jewelry game up. And things are costing a lot lately. I like necklaces. So let's say you spend 100 on the low ball side. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to keep up with everyone else. So now you got what, 300,000 left. You got to get a place to live, and you don't have good credit because you're just coming from the street. So you got to drop more than 20%. I'm at home, baby. So now you got about 250 left. Now your homeboys think you got way more than you have, and you got to look out for everybody on your block. So put 50 to that. You got to keep your fresh together. I love my Gucci fits. They tailor-made. So you're going to spend 50 on fresh. You got to pop tags every single day, so put 50 on that.
Get your pair of these right here.
You have an overhead where you have to maintain all these things every month. So now you might have 20,000 in bills every single day. Then it's got, there's no more money. It's a wrap. Your million is nothing.
Okay, now clearly that's bad financial advice. All right, I feel like that was tongue in cheek. You don't have to spend $100,000 on your friends. Okay, if you sign a record deal, a real friend, if you have a group of friends, if they're really your friends, they're not gonna want you to give them $100,000. They're not gonna want you to spend $20,000 a day. Like, you don't have to do all this stuff to impress them. But the point that 50 was making was that was not the best advice to give. You know what I'm saying? And when he talked about why he thought $1 million is a lot, it's because he was poor. He was poor. Of course, $1 million is a lot to somebody who's poor. Now, I don't know if this is true, but from what I'm hearing, Dame Dash wasn't poor when he was growing up. He wasn't poor like that. He wasn't poor like Jay-Z and Biggs was. He was one of the people who parents was mid-upper class. Now, Jay-Z and Biggs, they were poor. All right? Or Jay-Z was poor for sure. Biggs, lower middle class to lower, class. 50 Cent was poor. So maybe that's why Dame Dash looks at it like that. I don't know for sure. But I just felt like that was interesting. And I felt like I needed to go find that original video that Dame Dash said. Now, before I get up out of here, I want to say this. I hope Dame Dash replies back to this. I hope Dame Dash replies back to it with some type of intelligent response. Some type of response that's going to give some game. Whether he was saying, nah, that wasn't the right thing to do, that wasn't the right thing to say, or the reason I said that is this. Or when I got my first meal, I did this. Any of those reasons. He don't got to backtrack or say, he don't got to walk back what he said. I'm not looking for him to do that. I would like some type of entrepreneurial banter between these two. I would like that. Because they got a history, y'all. Jay-Z and 50 Cent has dissed each other several times. On Some Like It Hot, when Jay-Z said, go against Jigga, your ass is dense. I'm about $1. What the fuck? He was talking about 50 Cent. He made it seem like, okay, he was talking about 2 quarters. No, he was talking about the rapper 50 Cent. Go look up the song Some Like It Hot. He's dissing 50 Cent. So they've been beefing for a while. I would like to see Dame Dash respond to this. It's just, it's going to be interesting to see these two entrepreneurs go back and forth. How him and Rick Ross is going back and forth. It's something that I want to see. I hope Dame Dash respond to this, man. But get in the comments, man. Y'all let me know what this, man. 50 Cent and Rick Ross, they beef has evolved. It's two businessmen going at it. I like this. I'm interested in it. I want to see if this Thriller in Manila 3 happen. I want to see 50 buying up land in Louisiana, throwing events. I want to see what happens there because they gonna watch each other. You can tell by how they talk about each other. They watch each other business moves. The way that 50 was talking about Rick Ross' house, he watches him. He looks at his house. He wonders about how much money he has. He knows that he's cutting his own grass. He watches his Instagram. So we know y'all already interested in what each other doing. So I feel like it would be excited for them to go back and forth. And I definitely want Dame Dash to reply to 50, man. But y'all get in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this, man. 50 Cent and Rick Ross. Which one do y'all think is the better businessman? Get in the comments. Let me know. Urban Artificial Intelligence Strategic Thinking Media Platform. I'm out. I'm going to see y'all on the next one.